So, as for you two, what about you guys? How do you feel? I guess soundtracking their, your love story.
I think it's pretty exciting for us to see, I don't know, where they've come from and where they are now, and it's definitely changed the live show a lot, and I don't know, it's nice seeing Tim be a lot more honest and happy with who he is now, and I think that really shows through the music.
Yeah, I just agree with what Sam and Zoe have said.
Okay. So speaking towards your performance style now, has it felt, I guess, more freeing to be performing these songs? You have go on stage with a new confidence, or?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you hide such a massive part of yourself for so long, it kind of feeds into everything that you do. And so I would always feel pretty uncomfortable on stage, and I'd always feel like people were judging me or whatever, I guess because I was judging myself. And I really feel like there's been a weight lifted, and I feel like I am much more free on stage, and I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing anymore. I think being released from all of those other things running through my head, now I can really just get in the zone and perform the songs.
Okay. What about for you guys? Do you three go on stage too with that feeling?
Yeah, I guess so. It's I'm pretty happy with where the live show is at the moment. I think we're all in a bit of a zone, and it's cool.
Yeah. They're fun songs to play live, and with the development of the sound over the years as well, it's there's different things we're doing now that we weren't doing 2-3 years ago as well, which is, I guess, from a totally different point of view, it's keeps it interesting.
What's been your, I guess, for the biggest change for you, what's your favorite thing to go and perform now, I guess, with the development of the sound?
I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite thing. I think the whole thing combined is an enjoyable thing for me, but it's, because there's a fair bit of variation in, I guess, what we were doing on the first record, and now there's a lot more electronic sounding drums and things like that. So there's a lot of samples that have been cut up across, so we're triggering lots of samples when we play, 808 kick sounds and snare sounds and weird glitchy sounds that ended up on the record. And sometimes, you hear a drum loop and you think, how on earth is that ever going to be played? And there's a little bit of an interesting time for me anyway, where I sit down and I listen to it and cut it up into a million pieces and try and figure out, how am I actually going to play this thing live, and do I have enough hands to do this, or combining multiple sounds onto one pad and hitting that one at that time. And yeah, I think which is a totally different thing to actually playing the show. That's happening months before the song even gets played live. I'm trying to figure that bit out, and I kind of enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah. So he brings the drum sounds to you, and then you work them out, or?
Yeah, for a lot of the Bats record, Tim had formed, I would say, 80-90% of the drum sounds and patterns and things, and a lot of it was there. We went to the studio and did a similar thing to what we did on the first, on the first record. The drum sounds, probably, they were nowhere near as developed. They were maybe, I don't know, I'm going to put round numbers on it and say they were 25% there, Tim had some rough ideas of what he was thinking and for feel and things like that. And they were a lot more fleshed out in the studio, and I think every song on the first record has a real drum kit kind of, it's a live drum kit kind of sound, whereas on the Bats record there's songs where it's a 2-bar drum loop for the whole song. And we went to the studio and tried to do the same thing that we did on the first record. You know, we just sort of went down there and went, oh, let's go down in the studio for 3 weeks and see what happens, kind of thing, and we'll work on the songs. And I think a lot of the songs, you know, we did what we'd normally do and went, oh, let's set up a drum kit and start at this song and let's work on this song. And would get to the end of a day or, you know, the next day and listen back and be like, yeah, let's get rid of that and pull that out. And, you know, and a lot of the ideas went back to basically being what was originally there, which I can't even remember what your question was now. But
I guess what was for the shift of the sound for you, I guess moving from how you did the first record and your earlier recordings to how you've done the sound now, I guess what's been the biggest shift?
Yeah, well, I think that's it, is that I think the songs, well, for Bats were much more fully formed, and Tim's not a drummer, so Tim doesn't play live drums. So they had, you know, Tim was just working with what was in front of him or what he could do, and, you know, he had access to a lot of electronic sounds, and I don't know, I really like them. I think they work really well on the record, and, you know, we tried putting acoustic drums over some of the sounds, and a lot of it, almost every single time we went, this feels weird, and I think it felt weird for all of us, and I'm sure it felt really weird for Tim.
What about for you, Zoe? Was it the same with bass and guitar?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of guitar on. Yeah, I don't know. It was, I guess, kind of similar for me. Like, the parts were sort of there when we took them in, and then I just recorded some of them in, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about for the keys?
Tim is a very good piano player, so it was pretty much done. So Timbo, especially for Bats, basically brought the songs more or less finished, and then it was just a matter of sort of getting the cohesion and gloss and everything sort of pinned down in the studio.
I think there was maybe an element for us, I'm not sure if everyone felt this way, but, you know, sometimes you got to do something to know that that's the wrong way. You know, you got to make that mistake. You know, you try something and you go, oh no, that feels really wrong, let's pull it back to what it was.
Is there a song that I guess came forward like that in particular for you at first, or?
I think one of the first ones was Chasin', where we put like a live kit and kind of used the process that we did on the first album, and then it was at that point that I realized, like, oh, I really love the sound of the drum loop, and then we like beefed that up a lot in the studio and made it sound a lot bigger and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's kind of just making sure that the essence of the song was, I don't know, felt right. But then there are songs like Hawaiian Party and Look After Me, where we re-recorded a lot of stuff live in the studio, and that really like brought it to life. I think Look After Me in particular. So yeah, I guess as Dan said, you've really just got to try stuff and then see what feels right.
Okay. Cool. What was the song, I guess, that felt like the most right immediately?
I think a song like, I think the one of the first songs that I heard a demo for, and I kind of thought, I don't really know what else we're gonna do to this song, was a song called Good Guys Go, and I was so like, there's not really, like, we're not gonna put and I'm pretty sure we didn't even put a real drum, we didn't even like attempt, we like opened the session in the studio and we're like, yeah, close that and let's do something else, because it kind of just, that was my opinion. I don't know if you guys have any other.
They ended up kind of being the ones that were left to the end, because we'd sort of open it up and be like, oh, I don't know. So yeah, it's like Temporarily, Solo 3, Banyo Blue. Good Guys, Bats. I don't know.
Big Crush.
Oh Lord had quite a transformation in the studio. I had a drum loop in there that I really hated.
It's like a different song.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then we
It had a lot
really
of guitar in it too.
yeah, we took out all the guitars, and John like helped us, I guess, build
Reimagine it.
Yeah, build a drum loop that felt right, and we straightened it out a lot. I really like where it got to.
Cool.
A song that we made, that sticks in my head for a song that we went through a whole process and really pared it back, was a song called Let You Be.
Pardon?
There was a song Let You Be, which
Okay.
was an example of a song where we put a lot of stuff on it, and I feel like we pulled it all back out again, and Chase 'Em as well.
Okay. I guess going in and listening to those, is there an element to those songs that really made you decide that, or?
I think it was just a general feeling more than anything. It's like how did the songs make me feel? And a lot of the vocals that had extra compression and a bunch of things on them to make it sound, I guess, a lot cleaner and that sort of thing. And there were a lot of moments where we're like, oh no, take it back to how the demo was and that sort of thing. And again, that sort of just comes back to a feeling rather than, I guess, what technically sounds like the best quality or something. I don't really know.